Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. We're going to do another tutorial. This is our third one and we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a little poppy today. So I'm going to show you a couple of techniques of how to do that. I'm trying to keep it down to a limited amount of colours. So we've got the blue, white, got a red and an orange, but you can kind of change these. This is going to be the background, but you can change it to green. And the red, you can mix colours, you can do anything that you want. Just trying to give you a guide of how to paint a couple of different things. So the first thing I'm going to do is you can use a pen or a pencil, and again we've got a red canvas. It's really important on this one because we're going to paint a poppy and we're going to paint around where we're going to draw the poppy. So we're just going to sort of almost freehand a shape. So we're going to start with a kind of a circle in the middle, and then you've got to imagine the kind of shapes around it. So poppies are quite delicate, so it doesn't have to be particularly sort of refined. So we're going to do two. We're going to do one where there's a centre, and then the second one is going to just be as if it's turning up, so you can't see the centre. So it's very basic, just that kind of shape. So this will all become clear when I start painting. So it just helps just to maybe get an outline, because what we're going to do next, we're going to use this slightly bigger brush here, which has got a flat end. And what you can do is get a little cloth and just clean it just at the end. You can use a little bit of tissue or kitchen roll, and then we're going to go into the blue. Now I'm doing this in oils, you can do it in acrylic, so I'm just going to go straight into this blue, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around where that kind of outline is. Now it doesn't have to be straight on the line because we're going to do a little bit of improvising. So around it goes, and we're going to use the red of the canvas as the base for the poppy. So just very sort of basic brush strokes. Now because I'm using oil, the oil will stay wet for quite a while, so we can mix into this a little bit, but just for now I'm just putting the blue on just flat. So I'm going to go around this second poppy. Round we go. So hopefully this will just give you a little bit of time where you're just not really thinking, you're just concentrating on what you're doing. That's a great thing about painting, it can just make everything go away and just concentrate on what you're doing. So we've kind of got an outline there of where our poppies are going to go. Now if you're using oil or acrylic, you can water them down. With oils obviously you need a little bit of terp, so I'm using mine without, it's quite dry. If I had a little bit of terps it would be easier to move around. And if you're using acrylic, you can just add a little bit. Here we go, right into the corner. So that's the first part. I've got a sort of a guide where that's going to be. So clean your brush, give it a really good clean, and then this is a really good trick. We're going to use this outline here, and we're going to put a little bit more red on. I'm going to leave the middle bit, so it almost looks like nothing's happening here. We're just going to go around that circle. So that's the red on its own. And then what we're going to do, we're going to add a little bit of white, and that'll start to blend in. Just take that up to the edge. A tiny bit of white, and then go right up to the edge. If you get a little bit of blue in there, it's not the end of the world, because it kind of sort of adds to the sort of colour of it. So as you come towards the middle, you just kind of stop painting. You just, and if you want to, you can turn this around. So you just, from the edge, you bring in the white, and as it meets that red in the middle, that'll start to blend in, like so. Just spin it. And you can spend absolutely ages doing these. Ages and ages and ages. Like that. So you've got very sort of basic poppy shape in there. And then with the same colours again, you can add a little bit more. So I'm going to put the red in again in the middle. And the beauty of violet just keeps blending. And with acrylic, it's good because what you can do, you can let it dry and then add the layers on top. And then I'm going to change my brush to a smaller brush. And I'm actually going to use a tiny bit of orange. Then you can just start to kind of refine it a little bit. A little bit of orange, a little bit of white. You could put in a little bit more detail. So my brush is a little bit dirty, but you just got to kind of keep cleaning it. So this is the white going in. So with the little brush, you just get a little bit more detail. Like so. And then with the blue, we're just going to add that into the middle. And we don't want this to be perfectly round. We want it to be the shape of... And then with a little bit of white, you can add a couple of little sort of specks and details in there. Like so. So it still looks quite basic, and it will do until we kind of refine it. So I'm going to go back to my, I'll go back to my big brush, and I'm going to put all the red on here, this one here, like so. So it looks a little bit dark and a little bit messy at the minute, but it's all going to change. So this is the second one. And then from the top, we're going to drag that white down. It's going to kind of make this really pretty kind of poppy in here. And you can go back to it and put more red in, more orange, and you can keep building it up. You see, you get a really nice texture. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some white to the blue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just almost add a little stem in there. This is the stem here. And then I'm going to go around this poppy with a little bit of white. So we're going to just lighten this blue a little bit. Do the same with this one here. We're going to drag it down. And we've got a sort of a stem there, so it looks a little bit like that. This is a slightly more complicated one that we've been doing. You're sort of using sort of negatives to create your image. And then we're going to go around this poppy. So you see how I'm using this brush? I'm kind of almost tapping it on the canvas, and you get really nice brush strokes. And then as you go around this poppy now, it's just going to lift it like so. See, it's coming to life now. Now if you're doing this in acrylic and the blue is dried, just mix a little bit of blue with your white, and you're going over it again with a lighter blue. So you're going alongside where your poppy is here. Along the top, and then just sort of meets that here, and just sort of give that a little play. And then your poppies here, you can add as little as you want, or you can leave it like that. I'm going to put a little bit more bright red in up here just to highlight it, and it gets a little bit more it's got a little bit more texture to it as it goes on. And then this one here, so. And then if you want to, you can just highlight the stem just to sort of show where that is. And there is our little poppy painting. Take care, everyone.